Thanks for tuning into WHMS Radio. This is the Working Hour. I'm Mike,
And I'm Shane.
and this week we will be covering Lasers, which is the third studio album by American rapper Lupe Fiasco. This album was released on March 7th, 2011 by Atlantic Records. Production on the album took place between 2008 and 2010. The genre I have here listed is just hip hop, but I would say you could definitely say some R&B, rap.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, hip hop is a wide variety, but there's a couple more genres to it than that. I have the overall length as 57 minutes, 3 seconds. There's four singles total. The Show Goes On, which was released October 26th of 2010. Words I Never Said, which was released February 8th of 2011. Out of My Head, which was released May 22nd of 2011. And I Don't Want to Care Right Now, which was released December 2nd, 2011. Do you have anything to add? I have one last thing, but it's very long.
Yeah. No, for sure.
But yeah, I was going to say, if you have anything to throw it in.
So recorded from like 2008 to 2010. Do you feel like that's normal to have like a record that is like recorded over multiple years?
I think so, yeah.
I could see like one being like recorded like in the course of a year, but from like 2008 to like 2010 seems, I don't know, it seems like a lot, but then at the same time, I don't know, like, did he start January of 2008 and finish like November of 2010? Or was it like November or December of 2008 and like January of 2010?
I feel like in this case, because it was so like, I don't know what you want to say, like production company controlled.
Yeah.
He was probably on a contract, so they probably had him like doing something in the studio from 2008 to 2010, just to like, I don't know, get their money out of him, I guess, if you want to say that.
No, that makes sense.
So I could see like Lorde. We did a Lorde album, but it's been 3 years since she put out an album.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, Solar Power was the last one.
Was that 23?
No, it was 21.
Okay.
So, yeah, 4 years.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So, do you think she's been in the studio for 4 years working on it? Probably not.
I doubt it. But
probably at least a year or two, I would think.
Yeah, I'd probably say.
So, I don't know. That's a good question, though.
Also, like, so this album was, like, pretty much your introduction to him.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what song did you say was it, like, got you in?
I can't remember if it was Words I Never Said. I think it was. Because that was, like, my hype-up BMX song back in the day. Because it was just so angry. And I'd be like, oh, I fucking hate America, but I love riding at this.
But man, it's nice to be able to come here and just bust it out. Yeah.
And the anarchist logo and the thing. That was kind of my thing. I think the album is kind of like, it's, I don't want to say like super attractive, but it's very simple, but I don't know.
I'll tell you what, why don't you go ahead and do your bit. I'll come back, I'll do mine, and we'll get into the tracks.
Sounds good. So bear with me, guys. This is a long one. In 2010, to promote the message of the album, Lupe released a viral video on the internet titled The Lasers Manifesto. It can be found on both YouTube and the official website. I'm pretty sure, too, I have an actual physical CD copy. I'm pretty sure it's in there, too. I can't remember. I thought about digging it up just to bring it, but I didn't. Anyways, the manifesto reads, and it's a long one, like I said, bear with me. To every man, woman, and child, we want an end to the glamorization of negativity in the media. We want an end to status symbols dictating our worth as individuals. We want a meaningful and universal education system. We want substance in the place of popularity. We will not compromise who we are to be accepted by the crowd. We want the invisible walls that separate wealth, race, and class to be torn down. We want to think our own thoughts. We will be responsible for our environment. We want clarity and truth from our elected officials, or they should move aside. We want love, not lies. We want an end to all wars, foreign and domestic violence. We want an end to process culture of exploitation, overconsumption, and waste. We want knowledge, understanding, and peace. We will not lose, because we are not losers. We are lasers. Lasers are revolutionary. Lasers are the future. Which I will say, I always kind of thought if you were like a friend of his and you were going to put a burn, you'd be like, that album isn't Lasers, it's Losers.
Oh,
because you can easily change one letter. And it's,
yeah, exactly. Got him.
But yeah, I thought that was like this came out in 2011, so I would have been.
You've been
15.
Like,
no, I've been 16 or 17. Probably 15 or 16.
Okay.
Something like that.
Freshman, sophomore, something like that.
I think I was 16, 17 maybe. I don't know. Somewhere around the ages of 15 Definitely not 18 yet, though.
Right.
And I thought it was like I thought it was a cool thing. Like I like album like physical media. Me and you both do.
Mm-hmm.
And I did like the album, the cover art, and like little things. I should have brought it. I wish I would have now. We should do that if we have a physical copy of like the
Present it,
the
yeah.
album we're doing. Well, just for us to look at,
Yeah.
because I do like looking at like CD stuff.
No, for sure. Yeah. I hear you. Hey, next time we'll do that
Like physical media.
because I know there's been a few that we've done, or maybe not a few, but like okay, one or two that I've like at least recommended that I do have like a physical copy of.
Yeah.
And I'm
Well,
sure
there's
it's
definitely
good
some.
for you.
Yeah, like Remy,
Yeah.
I need to get a physical.
I
But
would
it's
love
like
to get a copy of
I
that.
don't know, man. I'm just kind of over storing CDs and stuff because they just take
Oh,
up
yeah.
room, and it's like I don't even know where to store it. And then,
Right.
I mean, my car and my truck both have a CD player, but your car doesn't have a CD
Mine does
player, does
not.
it?
So
Yeah.
like really, it's not practical.
Yeah.
It's just the own it.
Unless you get like you should get a nice like 6 CD changer though, maybe for the
Good.
pad.
Good.
Anyways, take it away. What do you got?
Um.
Then we'll get into it.
So yeah, this is like pretty like politically charged album in some spots.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Definitely. Just like some of the statements they make just about like the country and like the like world that we live in, especially like at that time. But I feel like it's still like pretty like relevant.
Oh yeah, it's been all throughout the 2000s and even to today.
Oh yeah, totally.
In the 2020s.
And like shit that we were doing in the 2000s, we're like still kind of doing today.
Yeah.
You know.
It's changed a lot, but it really hasn't. At the same time.
It's like the game's the same. The players just might be a little different.
Yeah, 100%.
But yeah, I got that this was the first like full album I listened to by Lupe Fiasco. My first memory that I have like actually listening to him was probably I have it here was me playing Jack X Combat Racing from 2005. I was playing one of the demo discs that came in like PlayStation Magazine, and listening to Superstar off of Lupe Fiasco's The Cool album from 2007. Which, if you think about it, like okay, so that game came out in 2005, and I was like listening to a song from 2007 playing that. When the fuck was I like?
That was the demo.
Yeah, I'm like, damn, did I just not have any fucking games? I'm like, yeah, oh yeah, we're going through the demo.
This is a new
tonight,
one, actually. New to me.
I think what it was is I think it was like that was like the little like window of time between like, well, not really a small window, but it was the very tail end of me having like PlayStation 2. This was right before I got the 360.
Nice.
Yeah, and I remember getting the 360 being.
You were like, this is top. It can't get any better than
It
this.
doesn't get any better than this. I'm going to play a single player game with the headset on. All right. I'm a gamer.
I don't wear the headset. When was the last time you wore a headset playing?
I mean, I do sometimes just to like.
Well, that makes sense because you're
like,
hell divers and stuff.
Yeah. If I'm trying to like keep it down, or if I'm
help.
like trying to get immersed and like really hear what's going on. I will say I did get like, because I didn't really have a headset for the PS4. And I didn't really have one for the 5. I got it exclusively because Dead Space was coming out. Anyway, but
yeah, we're about to get off on a tangent. We don't need to get off.
We are. We'll keep it going. So yeah, I mean that was the first like memory I have listening to it, and then I didn't even really know about The Show Goes On until like semi recently, and I was like, oh, it's like I had heard it, but I didn't realize it was Lupe.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. He's I like his music though.
He's not bad.
He seems like a pretty good like
entertainer. You want to say
entertainer, but I would also say like almost serves as like a introduction to rap sort of album, like a gateway.
Yeah, it's not too hard, but it's not like
not even album, just him in general.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, I could agree with that. It's not like Eminem or like even if you want to go like not the but I don't know like 50 Cent or like Dr. Dre or like this is different. It's more pop.
Yeah.
Than rap, but it's still very rappy.
For sure.
I'm surprised I didn't really hear more of him on the radio, honestly. But then again, I could see why some of it wouldn't be radio friendly, but still.
Yeah. But anyway, that is all I got.
All right, guys. Well, let's just go ahead and get right into it with track number 1. Coming in at 4 minutes, 27 seconds. It features Sarah Gray. This track is titled Letting Go.
Sarah Green.
Sarah Green. What did I say? Sarah Gray?
Mm-hmm.
Sarah Green. You know, maybe I shouldn't have put her name in blue letters because that's even though it's whatever.
You know, hey.
Does blue and green make or blue and gray make
green?
Blue?
It might.
Anyways, the main chorus of this I really liked. Things are getting out of control. Feels like I'm running out of soul. You're getting heavy to hold. Think I'll be letting you go. That's Sarah Green's part. I thought that hits pretty good. Like it's very nice. It opens up with that, so you don't really hear any Lupe, but Lupe comes in right after that first rendition of the opening chorus, which is around 49 seconds. Lupe comes in with a little line. I kind of wanted to mention it. As the old me, I predicted all my recent plights, exhausted trying to fall asleep, losses at my recent fights. Burdens on my shoulders now, burning all my motives down, inspiration drying up, motivation slowing down. And then right after that, it jumps right back into the main chorus. Yeah, and it's very nice. It's very emotional, I want to say. I think the bass hits very good on this. I noticed a couple times where the song, like, the bass kind of jumps from the left to right speaker. I don't know if you can really, you're probably not going to be able to pick that up on your phone speaker, but if you're listening on like a headset or a nice stereo, even in your car, you might be able to notice it. The vocals are kind of distorted to give that track, it gives it a certain type of vibe. There's quite a bit going on musically throughout the song. I noticed like parts of piano here and there. Towards the end of the track, let's see, this is around 3 minutes 45 seconds, so pretty close to the end of the track. Sarah Green comes in with a nice vocal showcase where she's like, I don't want to say solo, but it really like opens up her range and she really like lets it fly.
Mm-hmm.
And I really enjoyed that, so that kind of boosted it for me. I'm not crazy about it, but I mean, we were literally listening to this before we recorded, and it's like, this is still good. This is still solid. I'm gonna give it the same rating that I originally gave it, which is an 8.1 out of 10.
Okay. So yeah, Letting Go featuring Sarah Green. As the song like started, it like hit me. I was like, fuck, okay, I have heard this before. This song, heard it in the 2011 remake of Fright Night. It really only plays for like a second whenever it's like, and then like whenever Lupe's getting ready to come in with his first verse, like then it kind of like fades to the background and then you just switches to like conversation.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, okay, I know
Heard
this.
this. I know this. It's
Yeah.
familiar.
Song has like a really similar kind of energy to Power by Kanye West.
Okay.
At least that's kind of like what I picked up on, like some of the distortion done
Yeah.
on the vocals
So
and
the
like
nice smooth vocals.
yeah, and like the chorus that like leads into the verses, just the way that it all comes together like really reminds me of that. And it won't be the first time that I mention like Kanye West on this. As far as like lyrics go, I got so I can roam around the wilderness, see it for what it really is. I'm prepared to filterless, magnify the youth in me, alibi the shooting spree, amplify the revolution, sanitize the lunacy, strip away the justice, justify the scrutiny. I can see the lasers shooting out at you and me. Lyrics feel like kind of introspective, with a bit of like a sense of urgency, with touches of like I don't know, societal statements that'd be like kind of elaborated on like on further on the next track. Really solid chorus, really good rhymes. Sarah Green comes in like really great later in the song. I do feel like it gets just a smidge like too auto tuned like later on in the song.
Yeah, I
Just a
find that
little
with
bit.
some of this album altogether, where it's like,
And be like,
I don't think it needed all that.
it's like you're overdoing it,
Yeah, a little bit.
just a little bit.
I mean, I think we're both just not fans of autotunes. But if you are a fan of an autotune track,
Yeah,
you're gonna like this. It's gonna be plenty fine for you.
yeah, and it's not like fucking T-Pain.
No, it's not terrible. No,
You know
it's,
what I mean?
but
From
still, it's
from like 2008, where it's just wow, yeah,
it's noticeable
you know.
where you're like, oh, that's a lot of autotune.
You're okay. Reel it in, son. Reel it in. But yeah, I mean, it's a solid song. I'm gonna give it a not a bad way to start off the album. I gave it a 7.2, but after we
I feel like
listened
that's
to it
still a
before,
pretty good rating. Though.
I give it a 7.4.
Okay,
Yeah, so I'll be give it a little bit more. That's
a little bit more generous.
yeah. Words I Never Said, track number 2, featuring Skylar Grey. Which, I mean, that's just fucking weird with the Sarah Green and the Skylar Grey. It's like, I mean, what is it?
We got
I was gonna.
we got Rosy Pink on the
Yeah,
next track.
like, come on. I was trying to think of some like other color that starts with G, but I was like, forget
There
about
isn't
it.
really another
Forget
color.
about it.
Grape.
But grape.
That grape color.
Purple. Yeah. I'm Steven Grape Purple, alright? Anyways. No, it's funny because Skylar Grey, like, I read that at first and I was like, isn't that a fucking porn star? And I'm like, oh no, that's Sasha Grey. That's someone else entirely different.
Sasha.
Anyway, Skylar Grey on this track, and the beat, it reminds me of like the song "Love the Way You Lie" by Eminem. and it came out like kind of around the same time. Just similar with like the way that it like
Yeah,
kind of
very
bounces
angry
off.
man,
Yeah,
very nice female singing, like
right.
vocally.
Even if like she gets like the softer female vocals, but like still like conveys like some like
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
sort of
emotion,
heavy emotional
backing.
stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly. Um, the like lyrics and the music like both come off as like pretty dire. Lyrics, like I mentioned before, are a lot more of a statement and an indictment on society. I do notice that like throughout the album, Lupe will like start off a line with or he does that and it works. It like actually helps add to like the flow pretty well. I wonder if that's sort of like a staple of his.
Could be.
And a bunch of other cover-ups. Your child's future was the first to go with budget cuts. If you think that hurts, then wait, here comes the uppercut. The school was garbage in the first place, and that's on the up and up. Keep you at the bottom, but tease you with the upper crust. You get it, then they move it, so you're never keeping up enough. I'm like, fuck, that's pretty relatable. Because I remember like getting promoted and being like, yeah, man, I'm like
I'm
making
on the
some
top of the
money
food chain,
now.
and then the world just is
And
like,
I'm like, everything's more expensive now. I'm like, oh, all right, well,
guess I'm just a peasant.
shit. Um, Crooked banks around the world would gladly give you a loan today. So if you ever miss a payment, they can take your home away. It's like, he's
And
blasting it
this is
anyway.
2011, so this is right after like the housing crisis of
Yeah.
'08. So
Well,
it's
and recorded in 08.
yeah, true.
So,
He's like, yeah, this was the early '08.
and I wonder if that like played a part in it. Like, yeah, there's a lot going
It could,
on,
yeah,
man.
it was a hot,
It
political
was
like
like,
hotbed
yeah, you got
for the
like
time.
Obama's coming into office, Bush is moving out of office. Um, Yeah, which I mean, that was the thing is like Bush was probably still in office when he started to record this. Then Obama came
Probably,
in,
yeah.
then the housing crisis, 10-year anniversary of 9/11, like all sorts of shit. Anyway, yeah, it's just I mean, and he does like I don't know, fire a lot of shots at a lot of different like public figures on this.
Oh yeah,
But I didn't really listen to any of those lyrics, but they're there. They're definitely there. Listen to the song. I give this an 8 out of 10. This
okay,
is good.
nice. We're pretty close on this one then. So I want to say this is we talked about it a little bit in the intro. I don't want to elaborate on it too much, but this is probably the song that made me originally buy the album. Like I said, I have a physical copy. I think it's a nice protest slash controversial vibey song. I think it's a lot more angry than track one. I thought Skylar Gray. I had to look up because I was like, it's
Wait
not
a minute.
Skylar Green. Skylar Gray. Her chorus is great. It's so loud inside my head with all the words I should have said. As I drown in my regrets, I can't take back the words I never said. Uh, that chorus and just her voice is very good. Both female artists on the track number one and track number two are just phenomenal. They complement the song, especially on this one, Skylar Gray. She kind of softens the blow, kind of like what you were saying with "Love the Way You Lie." Very similar in that way. I thought Lupe's work on this song was great. His vocals aren't as distorted as they are on track one, so I thought this was like a much more clear. You kind of hear his voice more. I'd say there's a lot less auto tune on this track too, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Maybe that's what I meant by like the distortion. I had the same line as yours. I have one that's a little bit different. It's short though here. Lupe's line: "Pills with million side effects, taken when the pain's felt, wash them down with diet soda, killing off your brain cells." I thought that was pretty good. And that's still obviously relevant today. I listened to that and I was like,
I'm
"That's
not
so
drinking Coke
true."
Zero ever. All right.
It's like I like me a Coca Cola with a McDonald's hamburger
Oh,
though.
fucking hits though.
Oh, it does. It's like when you take a drink of that carbonated beverage and it burns a little bit.
Mm.
Um, so yeah, there's a lot of mentions of like political stuff, wars in the Middle East, which is crazy because this came out when it did, and it's still kind of going on.
Yeah.
Um, the song originally was like a 9 for 10 out of for me, just because it was so crazy. But kind of with its age, it's fallen off a little bit. However, I still think it's a pretty solid song. I think it's kind of unfortunate that a lot of the stuff in the song that it mentions we're still having troubles with, and it's still relevant like 14 years later. But however, I think that makes it kind of a tried and true song. It's kind of timeless, unfortunately. I'm gonna give this an 8.2 out of 10. You gave it an 8, and I give it an 8.2. So we're pretty close on that.
Hell yeah.
Moving right on though, we're gonna get to track number 3. Till I get there, coming in at 3 minutes 24 seconds. Now this song, when you get here, it's a completely different spectrum as the two previous tracks. Uh, it's just a lot better energy. I got a couple lyric lines for you here. And this is from Lupe. There's nobody else on this. It's just Lupe. The truth stings like Muhammad Ali. I tell him, don't homicide me. I'm just a little old hope with his back against the ropes. Fighting for his fans, fighting for his folks. But the boos from the crowd can become so loud. If I could block him out, I could knock him out, then dance around the ring. But then, until then, I'll say I'm gonna keep it cool and I'm gonna do me. It is what it is, and that's how it's gonna be till I get there. I thought that was pretty good. I think the message of this is a lot more uplifting and positive. Um, it's kind of like when I make it vibe, till I get there, till I make it to the good side of life, I guess. There's a lot of good little things to pick out from this. The chorus, it is what it is, and that's how it's going to be until I get there, And yeah, I got flaws. I know I'm not perfect, but all the ups and downs will soon be worth it when I get there. I don't render this like a great track, but it's still very solid. I'm going to give it a 7.3. I think it kind of hides in the backdrop for me. Maybe because the first two tracks were so emotional, this one kind of like fell off a little bit for me. But it's still pretty good. So yeah, 7.3.
Okay. Yeah, so I got that the music and the flow feels much lighter and not like nearly as oppressive as like the first like two songs. Like one was like the first song was like pretty heavy, like emotionally and like I don't know, a little bit personal. Fucking words I should have said or could have said. Words I never said. Sorry. That would like definitely like seemed like pretty judgmental of society and just like an indictment of it.
100%.
This was like it was like oh thank God finally something
a little happy.
Something kind of happy with like a little bit of levity, like little moments that I'm like like what you did there.
Yeah.
Some really fun inclusions are the operator please hold
Yeah.
like that. The truth stings like Muhammad Ali.
Yeah,
Like,
the bell. Yeah.
Yeah, that was cute.
Yeah, and I thought that's what you were gonna say. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah. Like, yeah, all right,
it
sure.
was very fitting. Yeah.
Yeah. I got as far as lyrics go, doctor, please. The frame ain't painless enough. That's 'cause you ain't famous enough. You got a little game, but your name ain't ringing enough. He said, take two of these, put some change in my cup. I'm always a sucker. I'm always a sucker for piano. And it keeps the song like feeling pretty light and bouncy and just kind of makes it easy to get into. You know what I mean? It's hard to like not kind of get into it whenever it comes around. Give this a 7.5 out of 10. Not a bad song. It was a nice little step away from the seriousness of the first two tracks. Yeah. So I appreciated that. Track number 4, we have I Don't Want to Care Right Now, featuring MDMA, coming in at 4 minutes and 16 seconds. I got this song is 2010 as shit.
Yeah, it's very clubby.
Yeah, definitely. Especially when the chorus hits. I can see the morning creeping up on us.
It's like the world's in my hands now.
I'm feeling so rebellious from all the envy crowding around me. I don't wanna care right now.
And then you're just like, boom.
Yeah. The electric like zip 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 like during the chorus. I'm not a choo choo, I'm a turbo.
I'm a turbo.
Hate a pray to God that I turn slow. Like I'm sipping on purple.
But I ain't on your glow.
But I ain't on your glow. I'm in a whole another circle, trying to keep it clean like church clothes. Said that that respect was something had to work for, but that ain't gonna work though. The entirety of the first verse, like managing to keep with like the same rhyme scheme, was like pretty impressive. I liked that because it rhymes for a while.
Yeah.
Doesn't really have to change or I don't know, mix it up. It's impressive. It works. Kind of a standout on the track. I'd probably give it a higher rating if I were just like a little bit more into like the whole like 2000s like club dance music.
Yeah, if you were like putting on a playlist that was like 2010s and this was on there, you'd be like 9.2, brother.
Right. Or maybe if I was like, hitting the club like whenever this was coming out, then I might be a little bit more generous. but I was in high
teeny
school.
boppers.
Yeah, like I was like getting excited.
Didn't even know how to drink back then.
No, I was like getting excited over like bottom shelf like vodka. You know what I mean?
Getting excited
I was
over
like,
bottoms.
guys, we're gonna get fucked up on this. It's gonna be great. I give this a 6.4 out of 10.
Ooh.
Yeah.
No, so this one, I don't have any lyrical lines. You kind of you covered it pretty well there. I don't really have a whole lot to add. I have very similar notes. It's a really high energy club vibe. There's a lot of bass in this too. Like I've mentioned, this is like the third or fourth time. I'm sorry. I had this album when it came out, and I had a nice stereo system in the bedroom back in old P Town. And
Was it rocking plenty?
yeah, I had a subwoofer like under my bed frame, and I would just put the song on. And I almost like if we go to Michigan or something and we're taking my Civic, I'm gonna put this on if I remember, just to like crank the subwoofer
The
up
show.
and let you like experience it, because I think it would kind of boost it a little bit for you, but it's still
Mm-hmm.
it's like you said, very 2010s, very clubbish poppy vibe.
Yeah.
Um, this song kind of has fallen off for me. Like I used to love it just for the bass because I was obsessed with that part of it. Um, but this one it's kind of towards the lower of my overall favorites. Although we were listening to it before this, and I was like, it's pretty good. I gave it a 7.5 out of 10. I could maybe see a 7.7. But yeah, not a bad track at all.
Okay.
We're gonna move on to track number 5. This song features Trey Songz. It's called Out of My Head. It's 3 minutes, 25 seconds long. Um, it's a great dance vibey song, excellent pop song, easy to vibe and nod your head to. I got a couple lyrical lines here for you. Everything works, you're a real good chorus, I'm a real good verse, freestyle unrehearsed, so clean, no curse. I got another one here for you. Your smile is so bright, it's like a grill's in there. High off life, don't need a pill in there. You're killing me, I think I need a will in here. Got me feeling real skills impaired, hard to describe while you're still in here. I thought Trey Songz was like a really good feature on this track. He compliments Lupe and vice versa. They kind of work together pretty well. It kind of makes it more of like a. This is definitely one of the tracks I would consider R&B for sure.
Absolutely.
This definitely grew on me though towards like versus like my early listens. This track has definitely grown on me. It's one of the more personal, like affectionate and happy songs. I mean, we're on track 5. This is probably like the best feeling one I would say out of all of them. I don't want to care right now. Obviously, it's pretty upbeat, but I think this one is the one that's like probably the deepest. That's not like anger, as track number 1 and track number 2 were. I give this an 8.4 out of 10 overall.
Okay. Yeah, I would say that kind of like what you were saying about this having like a pretty positive like vibe to it and just kind of carefree. Um, I feel like I don't want to care right now is definitely more of like a song that you would get that feeling being with a crowd. When this is something I could see you getting that feeling being more by yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, no, I thought that like Trey Songz is actually also a pretty solid feature on this album, on this song. He definitely brings that R&B. I skimmed through real quick just to see if he like was on any other tracks. He's not, but I mean he definitely brings it between like that and like the beat that kind of pulses like it flows really well.
Yeah.
Then Lupe comes in. It all comes together very well. It has like an electronic intro. Yeah, so that he comes in very R&B with the vocals. Girl, I want you to know I can't get you out of my head.
Girl,
My head.
I want you to know.
Girl, I want you to know.
Yeah.
Like it's very good. Very good. I can't get you out of my head, my head. Like I could see this being like a song that would play on the radio. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's exactly. I feel like I don't know if you ever went roller skating back in the day, but I swear, now that we were sitting here recording this, I swear I remember hearing the show goes on like at the roller rink.
Mm-hmm.
But
Well, like what I was saying about
It's
this
very
being like something you could vibe to by
dancey.
yourself, you could also like vibe to this with people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like it's upbeat enough to like really.
Yeah. Like it may be about a girl, but like, yeah, fucking you with people,
Well,
like
if you're
the vibes
it
right.
could work either gender, honestly. Like when we were listening to Remy Wolf,
Mm-hmm.
you could
Be a dude
make
and
it
vibe
your
with
own.
it.
Yeah,
Be a chick and
100%.
vibe with
If you're
it.
fucking cool enough,
Yeah, exactly.
let your hair down.
Yeah. Get loose. Just go loose.
Yeah.
Go loose. But Lupe comes in, everything hooks, everything works. You're a real good because I'm a good verse, freestyle unrehearsed. It's a pretty like simple and straightforward song, just like vibing with the girl,
Mhm.
you know, just being about that. Um, yeah, I mean they don't do anything too crazy, but I feel like they really didn't need to. It's like sometimes just being simple can make like a pretty banger song. I give this a 7 out of 10. So and like I don't know. Initially I kind of went a little lower on it just because like I feel like I have a decent amount of sevens, and I feel like I'm gonna get to be known as like the person that just gives like songs sevens.
I think we both have that fear.
Yeah, man.
Sometimes I have to like scroll and be like, well, wait a minute, I gave this song
Yeah,
a higher
no.
scoring, but this
Maybe
is
I bumped this down just a
yeah.
little bit.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I have to like go back through and like
same.
regrade them sometimes.
Yeah, but it's how I feel. It's how I feel.
That's all that matters. Your opinion matters.
On to track number 6, we got The Show Goes On
Explicit.
coming in at 4 minutes. Explicit.
That's what I have for some
Oh, okay.
reason. It's like
Okay, fair enough.
this.
You
Not,
copy and pasted. I see.
yeah.
Okay.
Explicit.
I was gonna say either that or you were just
Parentheses.
either that or you were just offended. You were like, oh, this song. I
Oh,
tell you
I will.
what,
I'll get into it.
oof. It's like can't believe they sampled Modest Mouse.
The show
Okay.
does not go on. Okay.
Motherfucker. But yeah, it's a really great like sample using Modest Mouse Float On. Sample works very well on this track without like a whole lot of reworking being done on it. Like it just kind of lets it play, just obviously without the vocals. Um, and then I think it just speeds it up just a little bit, and that's
Yeah, it's a little different, but
and but
same, close enough.
yeah. Also, I will mention that fucking like the reworking of Float On by Modest Mouse with the Kanye West Stronger. Look it up on YouTube if you're curious. That shit flows incredibly well with like damn near no adjustments. I'm like, let's get lost tonight.
I have one for you too.
Okay.
Just a shout out.
Okay.
It's a mixture of you probably have to find this on YouTube. Who is it? MIA, Paper Planes, and Taylor Swift. I can't remember the name of it. But if you just look that up,
Bad
you'll
Blood?
find it. No,
No.
it's the one where it's 7 a.m.
Okay.
I can't remember, but that's the lyric line. I'm sorry. I had it and I lost it.
It'll be
Anyways,
there.
I'm sorry.
Just look for a fucking mashup. MIA and Taylor Swift. It'll be
Alright.
there. I'll try not to reference Kanye West again on this review, but it may happen. You never know. Song has really great energy to it. Like it's uplifting. Well, like kind of uplifting. Like it's not like dreadfully serious about itself. You know what I mean? Puts you in a good mood while still like also touching on some real world stuff. I feel like it walks that like tightrope really well.
Mhm.
1 in the air for the people ain't here. 2 in the air for the fathers that's here. 3 in the air for the kids in the ghetto. 4 for the kids that don't want to be there. This is absolutely a song that you could introduce like someone to.
Yeah,
Lupe
100%.
This is just it's so catchy. How could you not get into it? You know what I mean? I mean, if it's not for you, it's not for you. But I feel like majority of people would be like, "Oh,
Even
sick."
my grandpa would probably be like, "No, that's
Yeah.
not bad."
I don't really like rap, but this.
No, he definitely. Whose grandpa's hey, we're just not there yet.
Right. So I give this an, and it might be a little generous, but I give it an 8.6.
Okay. More generous than me. So yeah, I think this is no doubt easily considered the most successful song on the album. I put that I heard it on the radio, but honestly, can't remember if I did or not. It's a solid, catchy pop song. I think it kind of ties in with some of the previous tracks, not all of them, of course. But it's still kind of like an up and coming, I made it kind of attitude. I have a little quote here though from Lupe himself, and I didn't really know too much about this, but this was a very record label, very controlling of the artist here. In this case, it was Atlantic Records, I believe, kind of having a lot of power over Lupe, and he was kind of told, this is a quote, I was literally told for the show goes on that I shouldn't rap too deep. I shouldn't be too lyrical. It just needs to be something easy on the eyes, like a record company telling Picasso that we don't need these abstract interpretations of life where people have to sit down and look at it, break it down. It was better to paint the upper West Side lady and her poodle so everyone could look at it right away and understand what was going on. Lupe said he felt like he was painting poodles. It's why in the first line of The Show Goes On, he paraphrases Johnny Rotten and the Sex Pistols, which I thought was crazy. But he says, have you ever, he paraphrases him. He says in the song, Lupe does, have you ever had the feeling you've been had? But he's quoting Johnny Rotten by saying, have you ever had the feeling you were being cheated? Overall, I think this is a solid track. But you can kind of see, like, you can kind of listen to it, and I listen to it now, and I can be like, that's very manufactured.
Yeah.
And then you kind of compare it to maybe track number 4, I Don't Want to Care Right Now. And you can kind of, I don't know, you can kind of put those two together where they're kind of, yeah, easy on the eyes, easy on the ears, I guess, more like it. But I still think this is a banger. I gave it an 8.1 out of 10. It is still very solid. You can't listen to this and be in a bad mood. I feel like it's kind of impossible to do that. But we're gonna change the direction of this shit big time when we go to track number 7, which is Beautiful Lasers. Parentheses 2 ways, 4 minutes and 2 seconds. This changes the vibe up big time. There's an opening chorus which is very very deep. There's only 2 ways out of here. You'll be too late. You'll be trapped here forever. There's only 2 ways out of here. One's through the door and the other's through me. It's pretty obvious what the song is about. And Lupe actually kind of mentioned that this was kind of I have it from an issue of it's February issue of 2011 February, and it was an issue of Loud and Quiet magazine, and he mentioned that it was kind of about his personal like battles with mental health, which I thought kind of made the track more deep. And it's very like a sad song, but it's very deep and kind of strong in the way that like he talks about it, kind of uplifting, just kind of telling you to choose the good way, go through the door, not through yourself. It's not something I would show someone on the first listen just because of the topic, and it's such a deep track, but it's great for how it's written. I mean, I can't think of too many songs where it's like you're literally talking about often yourself, and it kind of, I don't want to say beautiful, but like just well done. I only gave it a 7.8 out of 10 just because it's kind of deep. I don't really vibe to it as much as any other track on the song, or on the album, but still a good listen. And I mean, if you want to analyze that one, that is a very good one to analyze.
Okay. So we got 2 ways featuring MDMA, who is
See, you have MDMA, but I have Pooh Bear for everything.
right. Really?
But I'm pretty sure it's similar guy, but I couldn't really find anything on that.
So is one like an alias?
I don't know, because in some, like, what was it? What was the other one you said? MDMA. It was I Don't Want to Care Right Now, but I'm pretty sure in the opening he's like Pooh Bear.
I think MDMA might be like doing more of like the musical side of things,
Could be.
while like Pooh Bear is more of
The vocals.
the actual.
Could be.
But I could be wrong.
Who knows?
It could be like
if you're listening to this and shoot us
comment.
if you're Pooh Bear or MDMA or Lupe.
Comment, let us know. On,
sorry,
Lupe.
Your life has gotten this bad. You're listening to
you had to come and
reviews,
listen to us,
like that are this old, but yeah. Let us know. Clarify.
Yeah, I got Pooh Bear doing the chorus. There's only 2 ways out. But yeah, basically you got it all. The others through me. Lupe, sometimes living in a world like this, it's pretty hard not to go insane. It's pretty hard if you don't comply. It's pretty easy if you don't complain. Stand there like you feel no pain, no tears in the face of defeat. Pretend till the end that you don't fear change. Don't admit that your faith is weak.
There's only 2. And it goes right back into it, which is kind of a staple, not to interrupt you, but it's kind of a staple where he like says something really powerful and then it just comes right back in with like a beautiful chorus where you're like, bravo.
Absolutely. And I got from like 325 to 355, there's like this squealing electronic guitar that comes in over the beat. And it works really well as like a closer for the track. I actually put this as another song that you could show someone that, isn't familiar with Lupe.
I feel like it could go either way depending on the person.
Yeah.
This isn't something I would show like my cousin.
Right. Kind
But
of depends.
I would maybe show it to you.
I feel like I can get enough of a read on a person. It's like if I'm
Yeah,
gonna be
that's
playing
what it
music
probably
for them,
depends
like,
on.
yeah, I'll throw this on.
Yeah.
Maybe
Your
not
points,
for
yeah, I think both our points are valid. It just really depends on the person.
yeah.
Do your homework.
I gave this a 7.5 out of 10. Going on to track number 8, we have Coming Up featuring MDMA. 3 minutes and 58 seconds. The piano or the beat has a piano, a clap, drum beat, Pooh Bear and Lupe doing the hook. I see you coming up. I'm gonna give you the low down, down, down. Then carry you on the bridge. Or then again on the bridge. When the floor falls out, I'm gonna be there to carry you. And if you want that star, I'll go get it out the sky for you. Lupe lyrics come in again with the this for everybody feeling good. Know who you are you misunderstood. Never had money, or you living good. If you from the burbs,
If you in the hood.
Lupe and Pooh Bear on the hook and the bridge is a standout on the track. It's very chill. It's got a little bit of R&B in there as well. Hard not to kind of like get into the vibe. It's solid. 7 out of 10. See what I mean? A lot of sevens.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in the sevens with you too. I'm not going to fully unveil it, but I don't have a whole lot of content for this. I think it's still pretty solid. Um, I guess you can kind of say it does kind of go with the vibes of the up and coming, which would be kind of like the show goes on. And I don't, well, not I don't want to get right now, but sorry, I'm scrolling here. Till I get there, I think they kind of all have that uppity vibe, like I'm about to make it, which is crazy. Because this is his third album, I
He's
believe,
made
right?
it at this
Yeah,
point.
yeah. It's like, dude, you got a record deal. It's fine. But still, I feel like it's very fitting, and just uplifting. You covered a lot on this one. Just mentioned there's a lot musically going on, um, which I liked. It kind of boosted the song for me because I only gave it a 7.5 out of 10. Uh, but still, it's pretty good. You covered one of the lines I had here. I have another one though. I know it's not. I know it's like a whole lot going on. Things going right, things going wrong. Maybe, baby, I've been waiting for you so long. Know that in this world you're never really on your own. God got a number, get him on the phone. This track kind of just left me hanging though. It's still solid, just not what I've kind of come to love off this album. And it kind of felt like a dud to its neighbors. So 7.5 out of 10.
Before we go on, you wanna do another shot?
Yeah, let's actually
You wanna take a quick break?
let's take a quick break, and then guys, we'll be right back. All right, guys, we're back. I'm getting into it with track number 9, State Run Radio, featuring Self. This is a 3-minute, 58-second runtime track. It's another great opening chorus to get the track going, which is a very common theme throughout this album. The opening chorus, though, is You must be a radio station. And who are we? We must be the number one song, spinning all day long and over again. And we know when we call in, and nothing's free, sounds to me like state run radio. So this song, it's very political. There's a lot of political themes in this, but this kind of like is a hypothetical scenario where the radio industry is kind of controlled by the government, which kind of makes you wonder like how that stuff is, how it works. Which I don't want to say this makes this track over like ahead of its time, but it's very good and just like cut and dry, and it kind of puts everything right there on the wall for you to read. Um, I like this because it kind of mocks the industry on an album where Lupe has kind of said this wasn't really his record. It was more the records company, just kind of the record company itself, kind of just telling him what to do and what to produce. This is what we want. Easy on the ears. Um, anyways, Lupe's got a nice verse in this. We interrupt this broadcast to bring you the special message about the forecast. The future's cloudy and it's raining on the poor class. The roads to peace are closed. Heavy traffic's on the warpaths. Love is balling on a budget. The military says it's going to need more cash to keep fighting for your gas. So again, like we didn't really mention a lot of political lines and like lyrics in any of this album, just me and you both, for obvious reasons. But it's got very like ties to like the war in the Middle East and just like the fight for oil and all that. Um, Overall, I think it's pretty good. Like I said, I kind of like it more for just the overall message of it. I think it's a good track in its heyday. Um, I did kind of give it a high score, and it's not something I feel like it might not be something I would show to someone, but then again, maybe it could be. I don't know. I'm kind of like second guessing myself because we were like both different on the other one, and I'm like, no, Shane's got a good point here too, but I still have a good point too. I give this an 8.4 out of 10. Like I said, it's nothing crazy, but I don't know, for some reason, maybe I just like the concept of it.
Okay.
But yeah, 8.4 out of 10.
Okay.
I'm kind of curious to see what you gave it because I'm pretty sure it's probably going to be lower.
It
Because
is.
I'm sitting over here
It's
like
much
kind of
lower.
shocked at my score. So yeah,
Okay.
bring it back to earth.
I do like the little radio tuning at the start. It's a nice touch. To start off the song, Hook is by Matt. Oh.
That's a damn good beer.
Yeah.
Let's plug them.
Okay.
Erie Brewing Company.
Tell them up. Talk to
So
them.
we're drinking here. This is Shane introduced me to this, but it's great, guys. It's a light beer, so don't be hating on us. It's only 3.5, all right. But this is a shandy. It's like fruit juice. This is by Erie Brewing Company. It's called Soleil Shandy.
I always pronounced it Soleil.
Soleil
Yeah.
Shandy. We're not sure on the pronunciation. This is a raspberry lemon shandy. It's very delicious. It's kind of hard to find. Where is this at? Pennsylvania?
Yeah. Erie, Pennsylvania.
Yes.
Erie, PA.
Yeah. But it's very good.
It is.
And you could drink a 6-pack of these and just have you can enjoy sipping on these.
Yeah.
Literally, you can enjoy. I feel like if you put this on ice with something,
dude.
probably good. I feel like you could throw this in a mixed drink.
Did it hit?
And it'd be the best part of it.
Yeah. No, I love this stuff.
They deserve the plug.
And dude, I'm almost down to like my final 2 like flats of it. So
it's about ready to make it.
Already. Yeah, I'm thinking after we get back, oh yeah, I'm gonna have to hook you up with some beer to take on the road too. So yeah, no, we'll definitely whenever we get back, we'll make plans to run
yes,
up there.
100%.
But delicious stuff. Do you think whenever we go, you'll try some of their other stuff to take home?
Oh yeah. Well, I tried some of their IPAs and stuff. I'm an IPA guy. You're kind of an IPA guy.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, you got some of their other IPA stuff. I remember the one. Was it in like a gray can?
Crayon box.
Yes. Okay, because it looked like a crown. I was thinking. I was getting them mixed up with something else, but no, I thought all their stuff was good. But the shandy, guys, the shandy is phenomenal. If you ever find yourself in Pennsylvania,
nice summer drink.
Up. Yes.
There you go. So, the Hook on State Run Radio. I got Matt Mahaffey. And over again, and over again, and over again, over again, and over again. And we won't win when we call in. There's nothing free, or nothing's free. Sounds to me like State Run Radio, State Run Radio. Music is a lot more rock than any of the other songs on the album. A lot more electric guitar and drums, which is interesting. I kind of wasn't really expecting that on the track. So beware what's on the airwaves and be more aware of what's not getting played or getting airplay. Independent spirit, you can barely hear what they saying. Truth ain't getting on like shampoo on an airplane. Propaganda's everywhere, constantly on replay. Really solid lyrics, which is to be expected, and musically it serves as a bit of a detour from the rest of the album. But aside from that, the song, I don't know, it doesn't really do a whole lot for me. You know what I mean? But I do kind of see what you're saying about like it kind of being like an indictment on just like the whole like radio industry in general, music industry, I should say.
I feel like the order I get, and I think you can relate to this too. You can kind of see like a cookie cutter, just made for the general public.
Yeah,
cut from a slab.
Oh no, for sure. And like, I don't know. I definitely noticed that, like, I have more of an eye of that whenever it comes to, like, film.
Yeah.
I can see, I'm like, okay, this is just generic, like, what would an audience like? Here you go. And there's no, like,
that's the only,
to it.
It's got no depth to it. It's just,
it's like, this will be
what you see is what you get.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, this is like the fast food of, like, entertainment.
I thought you were about to say, this is like the Fast Five. The Fast and Furious franchise.
Yeah, that too.
Because that's kind of where it went.
Yeah.
It went from just being about, not to get off the tangent, but kind of went from like dudes street racing to like.
And so much so that it like took someone like of the main cast dying for people to be like, we're going to see fucking Fast and the Furious.
And they're still kind of like playing that.
Yeah.
I feel like.
And so it's just kind of like the fast food of entertainment of just, hey, here's something. It'll fill you up.
Yeah.
Taste okay. What more do you want? Doesn't cost very
Edible
much.
rappers may be available
In the near future, I say. But yeah, it didn't do a ton for me, but I feel like it definitely like is more of just like a middle finger to like the record company
Yeah.
that's like.
I think that's what this track has going for it.
And I feel like I need to be a little bit more friendlier. And in fact, just for that alone, I will be.
What was the original though?
Original was like a 5.4. I'm gonna bump this to a 6.4. Just a 6.4 though. I'm not going any higher than that. Just because it wasn't pleasing enough on the ears, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I came up a little bit. Came a little bit. It was a little harsh, but hey, who gives a shit, huh? Track number 10, we got Break the Chain. You ain't no Stevie Nicks, boy. Might as well forget about it. No, track number 10, we have Break the Chain featuring Eric Turner and Sway. You ain't got the answer, Sway.
Sway.
You ain't got the answer. Yeah, I see what you're doing. All right. Yeah.
Sway.
Sway. You ain't got the answer, Sway. Did you know what I'm talking about? It was a Kanye West, like him and like Sway were talking one time. He was like, "You ain't got the answer." So he was like screaming at him. And then like a decade later, he's like, "Nah,
Sway was right.
Sway was right. He had the answer."
I can respect that though.
Yeah. He took ownership. Good on him.
Yeah.
The music and beat have a very like heavy fucking like 2010s electronic sound to them. Eric Turner vocals, especially at the start and through like the 30-second mark. I waited all my life to play.
I waited all my life to play.
I still can't find a way. But if I work it one more day, I might just break the chain. Like,
I might just break the chain.
with like the music swelling, it almost kind of has like a like older kind of like late 90s like techno vibe kind of the way it comes together.
I can see it.
Like almost like what love, you know what I mean? Like a little bit of that. But Lupe comes in, freedom. We can use some of that, especially where we from, where we grew up, like a green thumb. It's like a criminal is the only thing you can become. Sway comes in, super swat. I don't know, it's been a minute since I listened to this track, but I got the lyrics. Super swat, the cape remains. Thought I was, super sway, the cape remains. Thought it was MIA, no paper, planes. I'm fly, plus I don't write no more. It's all off the top. I shaved the braids. I give this a 6.5 out of 10.
Okay, so we're off by about a point on this. But yeah, I have the same. The hook from Eric Turner I thought was very good on this one. Sway has a nice verse on this too. I actually didn't put anything in here from Lupe. But yeah, Sway has this nice little verse. Ask Lupe, I'm Sucre. I aid the break. Quick to cut off any baggage like some samurai. I like to travel light. I've got to leave you at home, Delilah. This is Samsonite. And I like how the way he says that. He's like, I got to leave you at home, Delilah. This is Samsonite. And whenever I hear Samsonite in that song, I always think of Samson from Half Baked.
I want to talk to Samson.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it just makes me, the way he says it, and I just think of that, and it makes me laugh. So maybe that's why I gave it a 7.6. I kind of like this track for the variety. I thought it was a little bit different on the collaborations. Maybe it's just because it features more people. I thought Lupe sounded good on it too, even though I didn't really put any of his lyrics down. I didn't think it was a crazy vibe for me, but I still gave it an overall 7.6.
Okay.
Moving on though, track number 11, All Black Everything, coming in at 3 minutes 41 seconds. Now this song, even though I'm a white male, this song is, I love it. I think the writing on it is great. I thought there was some, I don't want to say comedy, but just some
No, there is. There
nice
definitely is.
twins on it, or not twins, but spins. Fred Astaire was the first to do a backspin. The Rat Pack was a cool group of black men that inspired 5 white guys called the Jacksons. Eminem fitted in, but then again, he inspired a black rapper trying to mimic him. And that's what really rose up out of Michigan. The sign of a white rapper by the name of 50 Cent. It's just crazy, the dialogue, the content of this. The hook, though, of the song is good too. You would never know what you could ever be if you never try. You would never see. Stayed in Africa. Yeah, and it's very poppy. It's you would never know what you could ever be if you never try. You would never see. Stayed in Africa where you never leave. So there were no slaves in our history. We're no slaves. No, we're no slave ships. We're no misery. Call me crazy, or isn't he? See, I fell asleep and I had a dream. It was all black, everything. So it's kind of a nice writing of like I don't know. I could see this from multiple different races,
Mm-hmm.
but this is just it's a great concept song, and I always kind of really liked it. Really liked it. Um, I think it's a nice vibe and it's relatable, and I don't want to say it's like history, but it's kind of history. Like I don't want to say it compares to We Didn't Start the Fire,
Yeah.
but there's like enough of like I don't know, certain things that like me and you, our generation, can definitely like listen to this and be like, because I don't want to say most of the people in our like generation know the Jacksons, but still, close enough. I give it a 7.9 out of 10.
Hold on, just one sec.
We're gonna take a quick break. All right, guys, we're back. Shane was just kind of finishing up his thoughts on track number 11, All Black Everything. So with no further ado, take it away.
Actually, I'm getting ready to tell you my thoughts about All Black Everything.
What did I say?
He was just finishing up, telling you his thoughts about.
Well, that's what I meant. You were finishing up, but yeah, you never did start, so
Okay.
I guess you weren't finishing up.
Anyway,
Go for it.
I'm getting it. Sorry, it was an impromptu break. Something came up. So yeah, the music at the start has this almost angelic like vocalization of what sounds like almost like a harp or something like that. And the whole song is like this alternate history of America. Uh, there were no reconstructions. Civil War got avoided. Little Black Sambo grows up to be a lawyer. Extra, extra on the newsstands. Black woman voted head of the Ku Klux Klan. Malcolm Little dies an old man. Martin Luther King, read the eulogy for him, followed by Bill O'Reilly, who read from the Quran. And then I got the same line about Eminem that you had.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was like a solid as fuck beat with some really great lyrics. So like what you might consider like a concept song because I mean that's pretty much what it is.
Mhm.
It's like here's an idea, make a song of that, and they did. And I thought it flowed together really well. A lot of funny lines that I could have quoted. Of course, we would like both pick something that like
Yeah.
overlapped each other, but oh well, it happens. I give the song a 8 out of 10.
Okay.
On to track number 12,
The closer.
Closer. We got Never Forget You, featuring John Legend, coming in 4 minutes and 4 seconds. Legend comes in. Take me to that old familiar place. Take me to memories we won't erase. Take me to all that we had, good and the bad. I'll never forget you. I'll never let you go. I'll never forget you. And I'll always remember. I hope you know. Lupe comes in and let the evidence show that the future's so bright. It's never been more, not like tonight. We walk into the glow, right into the light. The past all around us, the time of our life. The first love kisses, the broken heart disses. This is just like first class ticket, back to the first written rap. The crumbled up paper, and the pen with no cap. Which is funny because no cap has become like, nope, that's no cap.
No cap.
No, this is a different no cap.
Yeah.
The pen did not have a cap to go
your
on.
pen
it.
loses this cap, it's gonna dry out. You're gonna have to lick the tip.
He's gonna, but
Kiss it.
song is come here, kiss it. Song is one of the definitely one of the more lighter and uplifting songs on the album. I felt like Legend is a very nice feature on the song, and Lupe doesn't disappoint. I gave this a 7.3 out of 10.
Okay, so this one I thought was like another just great track. We both mentioned, well, not mentioned, but we both had similar lyrics. Mostly just like the hook from Legend is solid. Take me to that old familiar place. Take me to memories that we won't erase. Take me to all that we had, good and the bad. I always liked this one. I didn't really I didn't have any like knowledge of this track when I first listened to the album, and this one has like really grown on me. I liked it the first listen, and I think it's like a great emotional kind of grief type song. I know there's a line in it where it's "We put you in the ground, but I see you in the stars." I didn't mention that, but I do remember that specifically. This song has actually like made that hair on my arm stand up a couple times.
Okay.
There's a line on it, a lyrical line: "Sounds of the summer, day and go wise, cold wind blowing through our city on fire. Moments of the past came here to find you, not to relive them, just to remind you." I think that right there, moments of the past came here to find you, not to relive them, just to remind you. Because I think this song is kind of about missing someone who's just kind of like passed.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's more of his like childhood, even if it's just like growing up. But like you just don't forget your memories, even though like you might have a memory like for you example, Shane, you might
Mm-hmm.
have a memory with your friend from like when you were 8 years old that you could never forget.
Yeah.
But you haven't talked to that person, you know,
Right.
2 years after that memory. Your lives are not intertwined anymore.
Yeah.
And that's what I think this makes this song so great for me, at least. Um, I have kind of a generic line here. It's going to kind of co-overlap with what I just said, but it kind of shows a passage of time and the lingering impact of a relationship, particularly those from like when you're younger. It kind of explores the bittersweet experience of looking back on cherished memories, friendships, and the trials of childhood, finding a sense of nostalgia and recognition in those moments. I also thought John Legend, just like you said, sweetens the track totally. And I always like the feel of this one. It's probably, honestly, it might be my favorite on the album. I don't know where it ranks as far as scores, but I'm going to give this an 8.5 out of 10.
Okay.
But honestly, I could probably say 8.8 out of 10 just because it is
So
a really
good.
good track. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
And I'm not like terribly familiar with John Legend,
Yeah, me neither.
but I know of him.
Yeah, 100%.
And like he is
yeah.
definitely like a vocal standout.
Yeah. He
on
might be like
this.
the most popular feature on this album.
Yeah.
Not popular, but like most well known.
Right. Right. I feel like he probably has like the biggest like legs out of everyone. I feel like Trey Songz might have been bigger at the time.
True. I
But
forgot about him.
John Legend, like
They could go hand in hand, but they're different crowds though.
yeah, exactly.
Different strokes, different folks.
Yeah. Okay. And
On that note,
that's it.
we're spanking that on the bottom. It's for your guys' ears.
This was a solid album.
Yeah, I was gonna ask closing thoughts.
Not bad at all. It does make me wonder what is it like to listen to like a Lupe Fiasco album without like any sort of like restrictions.
Yeah,
like
from
when he
like
can just
his album
make
that he
it
put
the
out.
way
He was
wants,
with
you know.
Oh, I can't remember the name or the
Was he part
the
of an
label.
ensemble?
First and 15th or something like that.
Okay.
Which I think was like a more independent
Yeah.
label.
And then he got signed major.
Yeah, I think, but I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, I could agree with what you're saying there.
Yeah, it makes me really curious to see like what like, you know, what's the cool like. I want to see what that's about.
I will say one thing. We have this in a lot of the reviews we do, but like this album to me never really dragged.
Yeah.
There was parts of it that I didn't think were super great.
Even if it like hit a lull, it was normally just like one song.
Yeah.
And even if like the follow up to that wasn't like something amazing, it pulled it out from like whatever it was on. You know what
And
I mean?
I think you gave this one, you had a 5 in there, maybe a 6, I can't remember.
Mhm.
But you had a lot of 7s. And I feel like 7s, sometimes if I do an album, you give 7s. And sometimes if you do, I have the hiccups, I'm sorry. Sometimes if you do an album, I give 7s, vice versa. So I think 7s are still pretty good scores. Again, we've never done a bad album.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. I think this was a pretty solid album. Like I said, I own a copy, and I've kind of, I don't want to say cherished that copy, but I have like.
You're like,
I
I've had it
appreciate
for
it.
so long.
Yeah,
How the fuck can I
it's
not?
actually probably one of my oldest CDs that I bought myself.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, not bad. It definitely like I can see like overall it does kind of have this feeling of like, you know, I'm making the music, but I am held back, and I kind of want to shake my fist, but I can only shake it so fucking
Yeah.
hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would like
It's on a tight chain from the record label.
right has it on a tight leash.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I would like to just I don't know. I am curious like what's older
Yeah.
Lupe Fiasco like? Even that
Even newer, because he's still got a lot of monthly listeners.
yeah, the Samurai, which I just listened to the other week, was like not a bad like I didn't listen to all of it, but it came out like last year, and I'm like this kind of
Pretty good.
hits.
Nice.
And he's gotta be fucking pushing like damn near 50.
Yeah, really?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
true.
like whenever this came out, he was like
His late
30.
20s, I would say, early 30s.
He was like, I think he was like early 30s.
Well, that would only make him
45,
yeah.
probably. So he getting there.
Yeah, he's older fella.
He getting there.
Black don't crack though, baby.
Black don't crack.
Black don't crack.
It's like, man.
He'd still be looking better than us in 10 years.
So, is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, not a bad album. Not bad. I liked it. It was a good recommendation.
Yeah.
So
let's get into it, guys. We have a new segment for you guys.
This is the first time only. Well, not first time only, but this is the first
time
we've
fucking
unveiling
done
this
for you.
And we're still figuring out like.
Oh yeah.
How do we?
It might change
because I kind of like the idea of like having like someone can pick an album and we review that, but then the other person, look, let me get a track on that.
Well, that's what we did this week.
It is, but I don't know if that's necessarily what's going to be moving forward.
I like it though.
Yeah,
it's a little bit of we'll do you, but then we're going.
But don't forget about me.
Don't forget about me.
I'm getting the last word on this.
So, anyways, with no further ado, well, let me explain it real quick. What we're doing is one of us, me or Shane, will pick just one track from any artist, and we're just going to review that single track. I didn't mention the album on this one. You might have mentioned the album. I guess it kind of just falls on the person.
Okay.
Anyways,
I think I left it kind of like I don't think I went in with the intention of giving a lot.
Yeah.
It was just like, look, this is a track.
This is the first time. We'll figure it out.
Check it out if you want to listen to it.
So, anyways, this week's track, no more. Take it away.
It's your turn. You got the last word on the last song. Or you know what? Fuck it.
It's your segment.
Fuck it. I picked the song. I'll go ahead and cue it up. The bonus track this week is the song "Famine Asylum" by the band Nothing. Now, I didn't have it listed, but I'm pretty sure the album that it's off of is called Blue Mecca. Something like that.
Works for me.
It's
off the Greatest Hits album.
It's the album with the fucking shirtless guy with the facial hair and the chest hair out. But yeah, comes in at 4 minutes and 20 seconds. The song kind of comes in quiet with like this like strumming of the guitar and like not really strumming, but guitar comes in, and then like it just explodes into this wall of sounds. Like only like 8 seconds in, it's like it just kind of smacks you in the face.
Yeah.
Like, here you go, we're going. Did you watch the video?
I did not.
Okay, that's a fucking weird video.
Is it?
It's like some like lunatic like beating someone with a bat, and he's like covered in blood, and then he's like driving around on a guitar, like smoking a cigarette, eating a fucking donut. He just like takes a bite. Yeah, I'm doing my thing. But it explodes into a wall of sound like 8 seconds in. Really crazy, heavy instrumentation gives it a more like it gives way to like a more soft-spoken like lyrics. Like the lyrics are a lot more send you out, like that's very soft while it's just like and I like that a lot. As far as like the lyrics, I got draped in thermonuclear, a mercy blow from it to us, in the famine asylum, disordered and delusional, onward into light's graveyard, to our makers no longer with us. And I put songs about nuclear annihilation. I really love there's a switch up that happens at 2:41 where it goes it's going quiet again, and then it kind of like has like this like swell of music that kind of like builds and builds and builds until it hits like this really insane drumming that comes in just like beating down fast, and that's like really all there is to it. That comes in at 2:52, and then coming back to the original instrumentation, it like sticks like this landing at 3 minutes and 4 seconds. The guitars echo and squeal during the last 30 seconds to give like this really grand scale feeling to the song. It kind of reminds me of "Send the Pain Below" by Chevelle, but it feels like a little bit more like shoegazy, kind of.
Yeah.
With like some sprinkles of like Deftones in there for good measure.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
A lot of times I have a hard problem just because I know you, and I'm like, I know you like your Deftones. I feel like you've kind of, I don't want to say grown out of them, but you've kind of moved a little bit, but they still hold their place.
Yeah,
Dear
totally.
to your art.
Don't get me wrong, I could put them on any time.
Yeah, and vibe to it.
But it's like, I want to listen to other stuff too.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
But no, I could see that. His
Yeah.
emulance, very much so. I thought the same thing when I listened to it the first time.
Well, I mean, the first time I ever listened to Nothing, it was because I found them on a playlist called "I Can't Believe It's Not Deftones," and it was a song by them.
I can see it.
So, I was hooked on this song heavy for like a year. I think it might have been. It was in my top 5 most played songs of like I'm gonna say 2023 maybe
Okay,
something like that.
nice.
Yeah. Um, I gave this a 9.3. I
Okay,
really fuck with this song.
okay,
Yeah.
nice. I thought that it was heavy all throughout, although the vocals are. It's more just musically heavy all throughout.
There's like two different tones. Like the music's heavy,
Yeah,
vocals are
the vocals are
softer,
light.
kind of ethereal.
I can't really put my finger on who it sounds like, but I will say Deftones is a very good place to start. I told you that I thought it sounded like Hum and A Perfect Circle had a baby, like a song baby.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of dreamy sounding with the vocals, but then it just gets back into the heavy sound with a lot of distortion. I was honestly surprised when I saw this album that this was released on. I don't have the name of the album, but it was released in 2020. That was kind of shocking to me. It sounds a little bit older than that,
Yeah.
even though that is 5 years ago.
A lot of people said that it reminded them of Smashing Pumpkins.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know specifically what Smashing Pumpkins, but they said Smashing Pumpkins. That came
Okay.
up a lot.
I could see like Rat in a Cage. I can't think of the name of that one. Bullet with Butterfly Wings.
Mm-hmm.
I could see kind of resemblance, but I see the Deftones more than anything.
Okay.
This is not something I was super crazy about, but it is good. I just don't listen to a lot of heavy music nowadays, but in the right moment, it has a lot of more potential for me. I think it definitely has a mood and a vibe to it. Which, if this was like I told you, I think this was off the record,
Mm-hmm.
but putting it on the record, I listened to this track for the podcast, doing my research, and I actually left it on, and it probably played a little bit more of Nothing stuff and some similar artists, and it was a good playlist. It's just not something I really seek out to listen to. I only gave it a 7.5 out of 10. But like I said, with the overall potential, I could easily see it being an 8 or an 8.2. It just didn't really. I have to really be in the mood to give it a score as such.
Okay.
But still, very good. Are you familiar with any more of their stuff, or is you kind of just like a?
Not terribly, but I would say I probably know like maybe like 3 or 4 other songs by them that are like
Pretty good.
all right.
Same album, or?
All right. Some off the same album, others off of like this other album. I can't remember which one it is, but they have a song called "Eaten by Worms" that's very like
You did.
it's not like
Worm food.
it's not as like fast and heavy. It's more like slow heavy and like just kind of dour and like kind of depressive, but in a good way.
Okay.
It works. I might have to play that for you like whenever we go outside
Okay,
because it's not bad. I think you might like it more,
gotcha.
honestly. Um. So yeah,
That's all I have. That's all you have.
that is all I have.
Movies.
Yeah.
Movies, real quick. Throw
So
that out there.
I did do a movie trivia, but I do realize we are starting to go over by a little bit. And I picked Masterminds, which here's the thing, there's not really a whole lot of trivia for this. So I'm just gonna tell you a funny story. Mike and I went and saw a movie called Masterminds. Came out fucking September 30th of 2016. Directed by Jared Hess, who made Napoleon Dynamite and the Minecraft movie. So like guys made some like big stuff,
Some pretty good stuff.
whether it's like indie or just like popcorn movie for a wide audience. The guy's like done it all, and then he's done movies like this, which is just kind of I feel like doesn't really have much of an audience because it had a budget of 25 million and only made like not even 30 million. But I remember like Mike and I like saw the trailer for this in front of something, and like we're like that looks funny. So like I remember
It was better than what was
Sausage Party.
Yes,
Yeah.
hands down
Yeah,
better.
Sausage Party was like a hard R. This was like a PG-13, but you and I had a lot more fun watching this.
Than the fucking PG 13-year-old crowd that was in front of us.
Yeah.
We also did smuggle in a
Bottle.
pint. It was a
Yeah.
pint of Jack Daniel's Tennessee Honey.
Tennessee
Which
Honey,
I'm gonna
bud.
jack your story for a minute. That pint.
You still got it?
I know, no, I don't.
Okay.
But we brought it home that night, and I ended up throwing it. It was in my garage, and I ended up throwing it in a basket of clothes, and it got covered.
Oh
and
no!
I threw the clothes. Did I ever tell you this story?
You threw it in the wash.
I threw the clothes in the dryer, and I fluffed, to get the wrinkles
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
And somehow the cap came off,
Fuck.
and it spilled all over my
Or your
clothes.
clothes just smell like booze.
So they smelled like it, but it was the honey whiskey.
Oh.
So they smelled good, but like I knew what they smelled like.
I
But
know
like
what that is.
someone else might be like, "You
Oh.
smell kind of sweet."
What is that? Sweetness,
Yeah.
boy.
Winnie the Pooh would be all over me.
Okay.
But yeah, that happened. And it was my work uniforms, I want to say. So I literally like had to go to work.
Smelling like a.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like a little bit of a
I like
distillery.
I think Keith Jones came up to me and was like, "You smell a little."
He wasn't much of a drinker.
Okay, respect. He was a pizza eater, you know. You
ever been to a hotel and just
all weekend?
that's all
long,
you're doing
bud.
is just
That's
pounding poon and eating pizza.
But
I don't look to. I was like, she still got the headphones on.
So, yeah, no, I don't really. I mean, there wasn't really a whole lot of trivia for this. It's kind of boring stuff, honestly. So we'll just cut. Anyway, we went to go see this, and I remember us like passing this bottle back and forth, and we were in front of some fucking kids that were like 12, 14.
They were young teeny boppers.
14 maybe, and like you and I, we were just passing the bottle back and forth in front of them, like watching this, and we were laughing our asses off watching this. It's dumb.
Oh,
but
it's funny. It's so funny. It holds up.
It's dumb, but like, dumb is funny. Dumb can be funny.
Yeah.
We had fun with this. This is a good time. As far as upcoming movies go, last week I have like a lineup for movies from last week because this episode was originally supposed to be recorded.
We got delayed. We had some audio issues.
Happens. What can you do? But
it's been happening a lot lately. But we're working to improve.
It has, but after this, we're gonna be caught up.
Yeah.
After this, we're caught up. Got everything worked out. We're gonna be good. So last week's movies, we have the drama, fantasy, sci-fi, The Life of Chuck by Mike Flanagan, based off a Stephen King novel. Then action, adventure, comedy, we have the live-action remake of How to Train Your Dragon. And then we have the rom-com called The Materialist. It's like Dakota Johnson, Captain America, and Mr. Fantastic, Pedro Pascal.
My boy.
And like a little love triangle going on. So that's last week's. They're still in theaters, select theaters for some of them.
Check them out. Give them a listen. Give them not a listen. Give them a watch.
I think this weekend Alex and I are gonna go see Life of Chuck.
Nice.
I think tomorrow I might go see 28 years later. This week though, right now,
fresh
out of the gate,
still warm,
is 28 years later, directed by Danny Boyle, written by Alex Garland. So I mean, if you're familiar with the franchise, like solid movies. You and I watched the first one. I don't think we ever saw. Yeah, we watched 28 Days Later.
Yeah.
Guy like wakes up in the hospital.
What was the parody of that?
I don't know. Was there a parody?
It was like the English version, I thought. Where there were two dudes fighting the zombies.
Oh no. That was it's funny, that came out 2 years after that. That was Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
Hey, are you okay?
Hey, you alright?
Yeah, that's
You
what
alright?
it was. I couldn't remember. That was my shit for a minute though.
That was
Totally
funny.
forgot
They
about
just
that.
like totally fucked it, dude.
Yeah,
He's
pops out of the car. He's like,
he's bent.
"Are you all right?"
Alright. And like he's like he's like, oh thank God. And they just peel off.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Did I? Oh, I didn't send you that. I'll show you that. It's something funny. You'll get a kick out of it. But yeah, 28 years later came out, and I hear it's good.
Nice. I'm sure it is.
Yeah.
So one would hope.
We don't have I don't have an album picked out like right now.
We're gonna probably miss a week. We might release some other episodes. We'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll.
I'd say I can. I can pick an album. It just might be like a second before it comes out, just because.
Well, that's fine. I get the next album. No, I don't. You do.
Yeah.
You do.
It's down to your boy. Let me see here. I'm gonna go with. You know what? I haven't even listened to this yet, but I'm just gonna fucking shoot from the hip and go for it. We are going to review. Next is gonna be. We're gonna review "Trouble Will Find Me" by The National.
Got you.
From 2013.
Gotcha.
That'll be our next album.
Sounds good.
So, anyways, guys, we really appreciate you turning into WHMS Radio. This has been the Working Hour with Mike and Shane, and until next time.
Don't work too hard now.